And then we had my face in here as well. Now, what I've realized is, why is my face so fucking red? 1 second. It should be better. Yeah, so what I've realized is, over the last couple of days, over the last couple of weeks, let's say, a lot of people have, been throwing around a lot of buzzwords regarding, recessions. And this oftentimes happens when the market is bearish or price action isn't the best. People oftentimes come up with the most bizarre scenarios, the most bizarre buzzwords, and they don't quite understand, what any of that stuff means. They go on Twitter, they see someone posting, a lot of bearish stuff, and they kind of fall for the trick. The one thing I would say is no one can predict the markets. The market will always surprise you. I got surprised in the last couple of months, on how much the market has dropped. It has humbled me as well. But I'm hearing the word recession a lot lately. And, over the next 10 minutes, we'll go over if we're actually going into a recession and, are we in a recession now? All of the stuff. It's good to see everyone in the chat. If you drop a like on your way in as well, I would appreciate that loads. Let's get this out to the masses because people need to understand what recession is, what causes a recession, because people just like to throw buzzwords, and I've been hearing it quite a lot lately. Now, there's a few key indicators when it comes to recessions. The most important one, I would say, is the bond market. So at the moment, what we're seeing is we're seeing a short-term contraction in the S&P 500, and this is mainly because of growth scare. So lately the Atlantic Fed came out with its GDP, and that kind of goes out for the whole country, and that came out in the minus, and this is one of the reasons people are calling for a recession, and this is one of the main reasons why the stock market is kind of stumbling. Now, if you look for the highs of the stock market compared to, let's say the August crash over here, S&P came down about 10% from the highs. Over here so far, we've only dropped, I would say it looks about the same, but we've only dropped about 7%. So, during this period of times, you do get growth scares in the market. During the August time, we had unemployment going higher, we had inflation going down rapidly, and people was getting scared that we were going into a recession. And this is why the market dumped aggressively. One of the main reasons it did dump was because of the carry trade. And I think the exact same principle is happening now. I do think we are seeing an unwind in the carry trade, which is why the stock market is stumbling. I don't really think we're going into a recession. One of the key indicators to let you know that we are going into a recession is initial claims. So when you look at initial claims, every single time we've gone into a recession, you can see in 2008, 2009 crisis, initial claims came up aggressively. And this is once initial claims goes above 300K, it means that layoffs are going higher and people are more and more people are claiming jobless benefits. And that is one of the key indicators for a recession. At the moment, it's only 221K and it's been stable, since 2022. So technically, we haven't gone into a recession. I personally think we have been in an ongoing recession, in a rolling recession for the last 3 years now. And the reason is because in 2022, we had two negative GDPs consecutively back to back. And that is, what a recession normally is. But obviously, they changed the recession, they didn't announce the recession. But normally, what happens is you go through this recession period. By the time they announce the recession, it means we're coming out of that recession and they're ready to go into economic expansion. That's all it is. You know, I think by the time they do announce a recession when the market gets scared, it means the recession's finished. We're ready to come out of it. The market gets one more drop, one more scare. The smart money buys, retail sells, and then we end up going higher because the Fed comes to the rescue, whether they start QE, whether they start aggressively lowering rates, whatever it is, Trump will find a way to inject liquidity into the markets. And, and another key indicator is actually the PMI, which is basically the manufacturing index for the US economy. It shows that, you know, every time you do go into a recession, you see this heavy drop in the PMI. 2009, 2008 crash, look how aggressively this dropped. At the moment, what we're seeing is we're seeing a slow rise in the PMI. It means that manufacturers are starting to pick back up now. And one of the key factors of this is mainly because of Trump. You know, he's trying to get a lot of companies to come over from abroad, you know, putting tariffs on them. So instead of going to China or Russia or whatever country it is, they're coming back to America and they're creating jobs. They kind of booming the economy. That's what the PMI is. And you know, during the recession period, we see this going down. At the moment, it's going up. So there's obviously not going to be a recession. The bond market is another key indicator as well. Whenever you see recessionary periods, you see the bond market going down. At the moment, the bond market is heading higher. So, you know, it does, and it goes up aggressively. The bond market is not going up aggressively right now. People are locking in the yields, but they're not locking in at a massive rate. So when this obviously goes down, the bond market slightly go up. So there's nothing that at the moment that screams a recession. That doesn't mean we can't get a recession in 2026. I think the base case is we will get a recession in 2026. They can't mask the numbers. At the moment, all they're doing is they're masking the figures. You know, they bring unemployment down, and then a couple of weeks later they revise the numbers. It's not as bad as it is, or it's not as good as they say it is, and they do this consistently. They're going to keep masking it until we come out of the recession. They announce a recession, maybe we're done for like a couple of weeks, maybe a month max, and then the Fed will come to the rescue. And you know, by the time that happens, because true inflation at the moment is 1.5%, which means inflation is actually well below the Fed's target price. And that's all it is. The Fed is below, you know, their target price is 2. True inflation says that we're at 1.5 now. So we have the risk of going deflationary. Now, we did have some data today, which is the jobs market. So non-farm payroll came in at 151, which is quite low because non-farm payroll is basically what the government, you know, what jobs the government are creating. They've only created 151k jobs. Unemployment has gone up slightly from 4% to 4.1. And all this does is it gives the Fed, you know, the room to start cutting rates now. I think the market, the traders, the leverage traders, they're pricing in 3 rate cuts this year. The reason we dumped in December was because the Fed said we're not going to get no more rate cuts. So it's only a matter of time before we start seeing more rate cuts in the market. QT ending. I think QT will end in June, which will shift the sentiment from Bitcoin back into altcoins because people like to get risk on when QT has ended. At the moment, we're still in QT. You guys can see on the chart over here, we're still in QT. The Fed is still taking the assets off the balance sheet. And that's probably why you're seeing Ethereum mainly struggle while Bitcoin's doing okay. It's not doing too bad. Just choppy around these regions. People are calling for bear markets now. The only time I will confirm personally, and I will sell my bags personally, is if Bitcoin comes back to this region and closes in this region. Because it took us 9 months, you know, of choppy price action to get out of this zone over here. If we get back into this zone, I don't think we'll have the sentiment or buying pressure for us to come out of this zone again. And that would be the bear market. And I would personally, you know, sell my bags if we cannot break back above this region right here, 73k. If we go below 73k, close below, come back here, retest after 73k, get rejected, back down, then I would say the cycle is done. We had a left translated cycle. S&P as well. This is what I'm saying. The S&P had a little dump today. People got scared, but look, it's coming back up now. People are not selling their bags anymore. Selling pretty. A lot of this stuff is kind of it happens quite often. The stock market always struggles between February and March, and that's exactly what we're seeing now. And one of the main reasons it is mainly because of Trump's tariffs. People are, you know, a lot of people think that tariffs cause inflation. It doesn't cause inflation. It does cause prices to go higher. So in the retail mind, inflation goes up. That's all it is. Beam you in the sauna. It's good to see everyone in the chat though. Drop a like on your way in as well. I just explained to you guys, go back 10 minutes for those of you guys that are new. Are we going into recession? The answer is no in short term. I gave you guys all the key metrics to what happens when we go into a recession. And at the moment, we're seeing the opposite. When we go into a recession, the bond market goes down aggressively. At the moment, the bond market is going up, which means we can't go into a recession. Every single time we had the Black Swan event, when we had the Black Swan event in 2022, or was it the COVID crash, the bond market was going down, it wasn't going up. So that means, and that was a recession. You can call it COVID, you can call it whatever you want. That was from the chart, from the macro perspective, that was a recession, which they kind of, they kind of played it smart with the COVID bullshit. Anyways, let's go over some of the comments in the chat. I see a lot of people talking about the M2 money supply. So, when the dollar goes down, which is the dollar is going down very aggressively, all that means is people are seeing weakness in the economy because the dollar is a good indicator of the US economy. And then when the dollar goes down, Bitcoin normally goes up, the S&P normally goes up. And the reason it's not going up at the moment, well, at least the S&P is not going up, is because people are talking about this recession talk, and that's why. But like I said, I explained to you guys, we're not heading into a recession in the short to medium term. In the long term, we definitely will go into a recession, but that could be a years away. That could be 6-7 months away. There's no point thinking about that in the short term because nothing is screaming recession at the moment. Now, in terms of the M2 money supply, it is shooting up aggressively, and that's because China is stimulating. The inflation is too low. They don't want to go deflationary. Germany is ramping up their military stockpile, so they're printing aggressively. And a lot, when the dollar goes up, M2 money supply goes up as well, which Bitcoin normally follows 45 to 70 days following the M2 money supply rise. So in about a month and a half, you're going to see a price action where everything starts going back up. Let me go over some of the comments. Trust, my friend, good to see you. Jobin, Rich, Simon, Sean, good to see everyone in the chat. Declan, boy, smash the like button. Declan, good to see you, brother. Tony, Salflex, Fizz, good to see you. David, good to see you as well, brother. Ange, good to see you. Legend, Matt, Ningdo. Ningdo. Do I think this shit will recover? I think everything will recover, yes. Checks, RWA, your opinion. Checks is a good RWA coin overall. It's just too high a market cap, so I wouldn't personally buy it. But if I was going to buy, checks, I'll probably just stick with Ondo. Markets are choppy. M2 money supply looks strong. Stocks will have reversal recovery. Bitcoin will follow. Tariffs always occurred. Yeah, exactly, Bossman. Tariffs happened back in 2016, 2017 when Trump came into office. The market did shit the bed in the short term, but in the grand scheme of things, it did very well. And the exact same thing is going to happen again. We're going to get a rise in the debt ceiling, which means they have more room to print. They're going to, Trump is talking about de-relegating banks so they can start loaning out more. And they, he's trying to get investments into the country, whether it's from Apple, Microsoft, Google, Saudis, Taiwan. There's a lot of money, a lot of companies, a lot of countries investing into the US economy at the moment, which is from the private sector. So when you have the Doge cutting from one side, it needs stimulus from the private sector on the other side to cancel out the GDP negative, because when the government itself caters to 25% of GDP. So when you're cutting government spending, you're causing a drag in GDP, which is exactly what's happening now. And people call this recession, but in reality, it's all programmed for this to happen. It's programmed for GDP to come down. People get scared. People, the weaken the dollar. The dollar is getting weakened right now. And eventually, they're going to stimulate from the private sector, de-relegate the banks, and then we get an overall pump in the markets. And people obviously are short-term minded, but in the grammar scheme of things, in the next couple of months, 4, 5 months, 3 months, whatever it is, 2 months, we are going to see everything go back up. And then when we go into the mania phase, everyone's going to obviously be calling for 200k, 500k. A lot of people are going to get caught with their pants open when the market dumps, when we go out into an actual recession or whatever happens. Just keep in mind, the next time we pump, and we are going to pump aggressively from now on, because all the signs are coming into play. We're having rate cuts from the Fed. We're having QT coming to end very soon, and we're having stimulus from Trump, from the private sector. All of that stuff means risk assets go higher. People get risk on, And then when QT ends, people will move away from Bitcoin into Ethereum, because when Bitcoin's going up, whether it is to 120, 130, 150, 60, whatever it is at that point, people are going to realize there's not much room left for me to make money in Bitcoin. I will go into Ethereum, I will go into altcoins, and people will make money there. They'll move the money down the list, and eventually money will rotate from narrative to narrative to narrative. You get a period of time where AI is pumping, RWA is pumping, gaming's pumping, DeFi, layer 2, layer 1s, all of these stuff will pump at some point. You just have to be patient. A lot of people join the journey, they don't make it to the last stage. They kind of capitulate during these type of periods, and then they don't realize how liquidity market works, how the money market works, how everything pretty much works. Liquidity will come back into the markets. At the moment, people are risk off. This is why you're seeing gold kind of rallying to new all-time highs. This is why you're seeing the yen. People are going for bonds. When you see the 10-year, the 2 years go down, it means that people are locking in the yields. It means that with a 4.5%, it goes down, people are locking in the yields, the bond market goes up. Obviously, the short-term yields come down, and the reason is because people are, they're kind of nervous or whatever. They're getting risk off, basically. And it won't stay forever. Oil is coming down. And the reason, when you see oil go down, you're going to see, manufacturers or whatever, is start increasing their price. Because if your gas prices are going lower, it means that people are okay to buy stuff a bit more expensive because the gas prices are cheaper. So they feel like they have more money. So, when you see oil go down aggressively, it's not the best sign, but it is good for inflation when oil goes down. Thanks for the stream during these shitty DCA times. Other than Rectum, is there any coins your profile you're getting rid of in the next pump? I'm definitely going to get rid of Tectum. I might actually get Tectum off the list because I don't want people to buy it. I'll probably put in the honorable mentions, but I'm holding on to my bags. I'm not going to sell it now just because I'm at a loss. I don't like selling anything unless the team has, kind of capitulated from the project. They're no longer developing. Tectum team is still there. They're building. They're going on, shows, whatever it is. I'm still holding on to my bags. I would say probably this is the only coin I'm not confident in. Everything else, I'm very confident. All these projects are still developing. They're working, and that's all that matters. I probably will get rid of AGI as well soon. On the next pump, I will get rid of AGI as well. And the reason is because AGI, once upon a time, was very bullish in the sense where it was one of the only AI agent coins in the project, in the entire crypto space. And it was bullish. It was very bullish because it was one of a kind. There was a lot of AI agent coins. Most of them were LLMs or deepin projects or whatever. But there was very few AI agent coins, and AI AGI was one of them. But now we have hundreds, thousands of AI agents. So it no longer stands out. I was expecting a Binance listing on the previous pump, but Binance did not want to list them for whatever reason. But one of the good developments I've seen today from the Binance team was CZ came out with a post saying, from now on, any exchange listing is it's basically decided by the community. So they'll have like a voting poll on which project. They used to do this, but they never used to take it serious, because when those exchange listings voting polls were actually on Binance, people will vote for these coins, but they would just never get listed. AGI and AI Tech was the top two for a while, but they just never listed them. But now they are actually going to take that more serious. So us as the community can have a chance to actually get our tokens listed on there, which I think is very bullish. What do I think about Lai? Should I buy, sell, hold? I don't really like Lai, just because Lai was one of those projects that came around, and ultimately what they done was they had a project called ChatGPT or some bullshit, came out, they rugged it, and then they launched Lai, which for me is not a good sign. And Lai is not really anything special, to be honest. I personally would not hold it. I also ask you after several live streams, can we get your predictions upcoming months in regards to the FOMC, BOJ? Yeah, so I think the carry trade is unwinding slowly now, which is one of the main reasons why, I think one of the main reasons Bitcoin was dumped the last couple of weeks was mainly because of the carry trade. And the reason is because the Japanese yield has hit 1.5% for the first time since the 2008 to 2009 financial crisis. The economy is growing far too fast, which is kind of causing the Fed to cut rates. The inflation is kind of going up, and as soon as the economy goes too aggressively, you basically get a period of time where, and look what's happening to the Japanese yen now, it's shooting up aggressively. What these guys do is they buy the dollar, and then they buy the currency with the dollar. It weakens the dollar and increases their currency. That's what's happening right now. So my personal predictions in terms of the FOMC, all that stuff, obviously predictions are predictions, they're not 100% guaranteed. I think the Fed will cut rates far quicker than people think. I think QT will end sometime in June, July, latest, maybe August, the latest. I don't really think it will go all the way back to August. If it does, it doesn't matter. It's only a few months away. Who cares if you have to wait another year to make life-changing money? That's all it comes down to. It's about life-changing money. If you have to wait a couple of months, 4 or 5 months to make life-changing money, who cares? That's how I look at it. I do think the Bank of Japan, they predicted to raise the interest rates twice. I don't think they're going to do it in the next couple of months. I do think they will do it one more time this year. And the reason is just because how quick the economy is growing. So they do need to raise rates because the inflation has gone up aggressively as well. I think maybe, what I personally think this crash in the stock market currently is because of the carry trade unwinding. And they could be raising rates, either in the next couple of months possible. Tariffs will come into play. I think they're mostly priced in now. And he keeps delaying the tariffs. So the tariffs were supposed to go live on the 2nd of March. It's already past that now. He keeps delaying them. And the reason is, I think what he's trying to do is, he's trying to get the best deals. He will put some tariffs, but it won't be anything crazy. He will put some tariffs because they need to fix the debt ceiling. Tariffs bring in a lot of money. They can pay their debt back. And they can do other stuff with the the Bitcoin reserve thing actually got announced recently. But what they said was, initially, they said that they got a stockpile. They got 220K Bitcoin that they had from the Mt. Gox on all the fraud stuff that happened. They're going to put that in a stockpile. However, they said they're not going to buy any more of these Bitcoin. But then they came out with another statement later saying they're going to find ways to buy additional Bitcoin. And some of the ways could be, maybe whatever Doge is cutting from the government side, they can spend some of that money to buy in Bitcoin. But they said they're not going to use taxpayers' money to buy Bitcoin, which is okay. I think it's smart. But I do think they'll find other ways, whether it's selling gold, selling some assets to buy Bitcoin. I do think they are going to start buying Bitcoin at some point. And they said XRP, Sol, ADA, all of these, they're not having a stockpile. David Sachs said the reason we talked about them was because they're just in the top 5. That's it. They're not going to get their own stockpile. The US government's not going to buy ADA, Sol, or Cardano. They were apparently, it was just there literally for them just because they're in the top 5 of the cryptocurrency. They just mentioned them. The only coin they're buying is, and notice, you have to keep this in mind, right? When David Sachs said we're not going to do anything with ADA, Solana, and Sol, notice he did not mention Ethereum. So they are going to do something with Ethereum. Maybe they will have Ethereum in the stockpile. Maybe they will accumulate Ethereum as well. And the reason is because Ethereum, it makes up 57% of Trump's portfolio within crypto. So, he's obviously has a specific plan for Ethereum. But we are going to find out more today. I don't know what time the summit is, but it is sometime in the next couple of hours, maybe it's already happening now. I don't know exactly what time the summit is. I need to look back and have a look. Trump is a Black Swan event. Crypto fine, good to see you. Trump does this every cycle, but it was the exact same thing in 2016, 2017. It came up, shaked up the markets, and then later we just rallied anyways. Because all the news is just news, is noise. Follow the liquidity market, follow the money cycle. That's all it is. If you follow that, everything else is just noise. Beam, how you doing, bro? You in the sauna? You're always at gym, Beam. Good to see. What's better to DCA now, props or NAI? Let me see. I haven't really looked into them in a while, but let's have a look. Prop base down 9% today. $10 million market cap. The next support line is about 2 point. Oh, it's actually at support now around these regions of support. I don't think it will break past this support here. This is a major support. I don't think it will go below 2 cents. Yeah, I think this is a good DCA. NI is also a good DCA. NI has actually been doing quite a lot of work and is quite resilient in the dump. This is also $9 million in market cap. They're forming partnerships. They formed a partnership with these guys. I think yesterday they formed another partnership with this AI agent coin 2 days ago, 3 days ago. They stopped back to back forming partnerships, and I think this is very good for the project. All you guys need to worry about now, and people oftentimes say, if the market goes down, the market's always down 80, 90% across all coins. That's why when the market dumps, like most altcoins barely do anything. They don't dump. They don't, I mean, if you look at all, it's done fuck all for the last couple of months. And the reason is because look how much it's dumped since the highs. It's dumped aggressively. Same thing with Sensei. These are barely moving. They come down, go up slightly. They're not going to dump too much from here. They might dump maybe, I don't know, 5%, 10% here and there, but it's not going to be aggressive moves. When Bitcoin goes down to 82K, 83K, the altcoins go down, fuck all, like 5% max, most of them at least. A few, obviously, like some coins follow Bitcoin aggressively. AI Tech's one of them, Relio is one of them. When Bitcoin goes down, they go down aggressively. When Bitcoin goes up, they go up as well. Some coins, they do their own thing. So if you're going to buy any of them, I'll probably split 50-50. I think both of them are doing quite good. I think RWA will be massive this year. A lot of tokenization is happening outside of crypto from the big institutions, and I think that will come into crypto as well. And we are going to see some very bullish, stuff with RWA. So prop base is good. I don't think AI was dead. I don't think AI will ever die. The reason is because these large institutions like Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Meta, they invest in 50 billion, 60 billion, 100 billion into AI for the year. So that cannot be dead. Yes, AI has taken a hit ever since DeepSeek, but that's short term. In a couple of months, one of these big companies is going to have a new crazy AI model or whatever it is, robotics, it could be anything. And the AI market is going to start booming again. These guys are not spending 150 to 100 million, for the year to make nothing. They're going to be making some decent stuff. Would you start DCAing? I would only start DCAing aggressively when I see a convincing move up from the stock market. Like I said, this is a short-term contraction. I think maybe this month. I think sometime end of this month we'll have a bounce or a rally or something, because look how much FUD we've had over the last couple of weeks. Let's say the last couple of months. Bitcoin is still almost 90K. People were talking about Bitcoin cannot break the 87K region or 89K region. It's just it was above that a few days ago. It's come down, and now it's 87K despite all the FUD we've had, despite all the shit that's got, stock market dropping, GDP going down. There's been a lot of FUD in the markets, and Bitcoin is still holding strong, which is a very good sign for us. So I'm not concerned in the short term. I would only be concerned if you come back down here. Market buys only. Is it a good idea to sell everything now, buy back when the market becomes bullish? Can't handle bear market until. Though I don't really think that's smart, bro. Because crypto is different. Like, it's not stock market where it goes down £200 or fucking $300 and everyone panics. It's gone down 5%. Crypto will come down to 78K and then rally to 94K in a space of one day. And you are going to miss the boat if you sell now, buy back lower. That's just stupid. If you're down on your investments, why would you sell now when everything's down and then buy back later? This is classic retarded retail mentality. You're selling the lows when your coin is down, and then you're gonna buy back higher. And then when it goes down again, what are you gonna do then? It's just stupid. Like, at least if you're gonna get out when the market pumps. Don't get out when the market is dumping. That's just stupid. Can't believe you just said that I'm okay, bro. I don't think you're okay, bro. I don't think you're okay. In 2 to 4 months, I don't really think so, bro. I think most altcoins are just down 80, 90%. If you look at the last altcoins for the last couple of weeks, they're not moving. They're just holding the same region. They'll go up 5%, go up 10%, and they keep doing the same thing back and forth, which means most of the sellers are out. I think all the non-believers are out by now, bro. All the people that thought the market is dead, I think they got out by now. So, and what moves these low caps are people, retail. It's not institutions buying these low caps at the moment. It's people like me and you. And I think most of the people that capitulated is already out. That's why, like I said, when you see wild swings in Bitcoin, the altcoins, the low caps barely move. They go down 5%, they bounce back up like nothing happened. So whatever happens, we'll be rewarding. Yeah, look, if you follow the business cycle and you follow the liquidity cycle, everything will pump because everything follows the global money supply. When the global money supply goes up, risk assets follow, but there's just a delay period. People oftentimes capitulate in that delay period just to FOMO in later, which I think is stupid. Thoughts on Paul? I haven't looked into Paul actually. We can have a look into it together. Paul. Matic, Polygon. Not a fan of Polygon. Scam Binance just going to keep manipulating the voting. That's also true as well, bro. I would not be surprised. Them. Do you think alt season will come before Q? I don't think there's a time period for alt season. I'm hearing a lot of people talk about selling may go away. I don't think that's going to happen every time. Now, I do think it'll take a couple of weeks, months for the markets to actually pick back up again. But sentiment in crypto switches just like that. Like I said, the market dumped to 73K and rallied to 94K in one day. That's how quick sentiment can shift. Altcoins rallied like 20, 30% off that news. And it will happen again. Sentiment will shift very quick because a lot of people are sitting on USDT. That's why the USDT dominance is at 5% now. Everyone is sitting on USDT. When the market flips bullish, the exact same thing is going to happen again. They're going to start selling the USDT into assets. That's what happens. It just takes one little bullish news for sentiment to shift. They're trying the best. The shakers hold strong. They're trying. AI agents, Griffin will recover. It's hard to say, my friend. It's hard to say because I think Griffin is decent. I think it will recover, yes. Based AI is still okay. Based AI is a trade, nothing more, bro. Like just when it goes down, trade it. When it goes up, sell it. That's how I look at based AI. It's not one of those that I'm not a fan of holding based AI long term personally. What's your thoughts on Relio? It has great support community in low cap. I'm a fan of Relio, my friend. I hold Relio. I found Relio at like 1.5, 1.6 cents or some shit. So I made quite a lot of money on Relio. I sold around $3 range. And I still hold Relio now. I have a very decent sized moon bag. I'm a fan of Relio because Relio is, you have platforms that tokenize stuff, and then you have a platform which is Relio where you guys can tokenize anything you want. Relio is building a wallet where you can tokenize your phone, you can tokenize anything you want. And I haven't seen that in the market yet. A lot of companies or a lot of projects, they tokenize a specific thing, but none of them are actually allowing you guys to tokenize whatever you want. And that's what Relio is building. And I think once that wallet goes live, the second volume of the wallet, I think it'll be huge for Relio when everyone without any cost can tokenize whatever they want. I think that's going to be huge. Shout out for being level-headed and not flipping at these idiots on YouTube. How's it going, G? Finally got on your live. Missed you the last few times. Shabazz, good to see you, my friend. How are you doing? The market has spoken. March is in reversal. Never doubt the monk. Yes, the monk. If you guys don't know about the monk said the market will reverse on the 20th of March. And it kind of lines with global liquidity, so you could see a pump at that time. Any idea about analog, new layer 0, microcap just listed on Big Get, KuCoin, Kraken, analog? We can have a look into it, buddy. Analog. It's a brand new project. 3 million, decent trading volume, just launched. It has dumped. You don't want to be buying projects when they launch because that's when they get fucked. That's the fucking mainnet. Let's have a look at the website. Building blocks for vibrant multi-chain ecosystem. Yeah, I'm seeing. Look, you can see a lot of these DeFi projects. Most of them won't do well. This one looks decent for the market cap it's at, but I'm not a fan of DeFi projects at the moment. I don't think DeFi. I personally would not invest into DeFi. I think DeFi gaming is probably two of the deadest sectors at the moment. So I would not personally invest into DeFi projects, my friend. It's not worth. But you think Munity is still a good game since dead lately? Should we buy Munity now or wait for money to put? Look, you shouldn't completely, abandon a narrative. I think you should all invest at least in, whether it's even if it's a small percentage, invest into gaming because gaming will pump at some point. It could take a little bit longer than some of the AIs or RWAs, but you can do maybe 80%, 90% AI and RWA and do like 10% gaming. That's what I done. I'm not a fan of gaming because gaming's been dead for a while. But that does not mean you don't hold gaming completely. Hold the ones that are developing and still there. A lot of gaming projects have abandoned the project. They're not updating onto they're not doing shit. The ones that are still updating, OTK regularly updates. Naka does a lot. People don't, because gaming's so dead, people don't appreciate how much Naka is actually, at $26 million market cap. People don't realize how much these guys develop, on a monthly basis. Launch their app, they just do everything. They launch new games all the time. The best new mobile game in 8 hours ago. These guys, they just the partnership, Ubisoft, Starknet, what the fuck it is. These are massive. Ubisoft is a massive company. This is 12 hours ago. People genuinely do not appreciate how much work Naka actually puts in. And they actually, I think they're forming a game, or they're making a game at least, that's going to be on the PS4, the PS5, whatever. It's going to be on the PlayStation, Xbox. So they're making like a Web3 style game, which is very, is very bullish. But they make games all the time, consistently updating. This is one of the best gaming projects in the space, in my opinion. They got apps, they got everything you need. They got Microsoft grants. It is I don't think it's smart to just completely fade the narrative. At least have, even if it's a small percentage of your portfolio, just hold it. So thoughts on Snift? I'm still bullish on Snift. I think a lot of people are just selling it for no reason. People don't realize if you guys don't sell Snift, it would never go down. It won't go down. It held aggressively, very nicely here. In fact, it was rallying when the market was dumping aggressively back in the January times, and everyone decided to sell off because they got scared of the pussy out. There's no one. All the early investors are down. The only people that selling this is you guys, people that watch my channel, people in my private group. It's just like I said, DGen coin, hold it. It could do 100x when the market gets bullish. That's the way I look at it. $1.9 million in market cap. For this to get to 200 million, it's not far off because you have to look at the narratives. The narrative is there. Trump is launching NFT, metaverse, some sort of bullshit platform. And what are these guys building? They're building AI agents, metaverse, or gaming, or whatever you want to call it. So it could go hand in hand. It's a very good AI project. They've just formed a partnership 14 hours ago with this company, some AI agent coin, and they're doing this consistently. They're holding spaces. They get mentioned by the BNB chain. So it's still a good project, a very good DGen project. But like I said, people oftentimes get carried away with DGen projects and they overexpose themselves to these DGen projects. When I say something is DGen, it means that you don't put more than 1% of your portfolio into them, if not less. 1-2% max. That's it. People go carried away, put 20%, 10% of the portfolio, and then ask me, am I still bullish on these projects? Of course, I'm still bullish. They're just dumping like everything else. It's not rocket science. It's just don't get overexposed to the DGM projects. Now, I don't think this project will get rug pulled, but what if it does? Don't get overexposed to them. If 1% of your portfolio goes down, who gives a shit? If Munity was to rug pull tomorrow, I would not give a shit because it's less than 1% or 1% of my portfolio. Views on Minima. I think Minima is a good deepening project overall. I think it has the right partnerships. It meets the right criterias. It's for a low cap, it's pretty good. Obviously, it does lack specific factors. It had the exchange listings is terrible for this project, but they have some decent sized partnerships. Some big companies that you guys are probably aware of. Volvo. I think that's the only one actually. The fuck? I thought they had more than that. Maybe Volvo is the only one that we know. The rest of them, I personally don't know what they are. But it's a pretty good project. It's a deep-in project. And they're still developing. I've seen them on the Twitter. They're working. They're forming partnerships. I don't think it's a bad project. For the cap that it is, I do think it can pump at some point. Look at them; they got quite a lot of partnerships. Real world partnerships with universities, with some other companies, Swiss.com, Volvo, Mercury, and a bunch of other ones that I don't know what the fuck they are. But these guys are doing whatever they need to do, whatever is developing, forming partnerships. I don't think it's a project overall. It's a DGM project. Don't go buying stupid amounts into this. But it pumps. It pumped when the market got bullish. They've just got an exchange listing over there. But it's holding up fairly well. And this project actually did like 100x on the previous pump. When we had the pump back in, I forgot when it was. I think it was wrap minimum. Let me see if I can find it. When this project first came out and it rallied, it actually done like, I think it was close to 100x. So if you got in here, or 60x, around 40 to 60x, depending on when you got in. So it did fairly well, and obviously it's come down again. AI Tech, good DCA. I think AI Tech's a good DCA. I don't know what the market cap of AI Tech is now, but like I said, AI Tech is one of those projects that aggressively moves with Bitcoin. If you see Bitcoin go up, this will go up. If you see Bitcoin go down, this will go down. But this doesn't go. The thing with this type of projects is when Bitcoin goes down, this will go down fast. When Bitcoin pumps, this will go up like 2-3%, 5% max. And then when Bitcoin goes down again, it dumps even more. Just like consistently shaking people out of the markets. But these guys, the vesting schedule has cooled off now, so there's not a lot of selling pressure. People are just selling now wherever they can get daily. But they're consistently working, which is quite good. Stake, they just did a massive burn. Well, not a massive burn, but they did a decent burn. They're still running the launchpad. They did a 1.5 million, 1.1 million burn, which is not a lot, but still is decent. Burn. And then now they've just bridged over to Base. So, and they're doing a hackathon with the BNB chain. I think this will get listed on Binance fairly soon. This was on Binance. I think maybe a Binance listing could save the short term. And they're giving out 1 million grant as well, which is quite good in my opinion. Just for hackathons, because it saves people a lot of time. But BNB, few hackathons, these are some big companies, ASI, Netmind, AI Tech's on there as well. So, it's pretty decent. They're still developing, which is fine. Just wait for this to bottom out. Where's the next support? I think the next support is around 3 cents, 2.5. Maybe it'll go down to those regions. So don't just keep buying stuff that's consistently going down. Wait for major supports and then DCA. If you just DCA every 5%, it's just pointless, isn't it? DCA as strong resistance because it's likely to hold there for a couple of months. And if the market flips bullish in that couple of months, then that project is going to go up instead of keep falling consistently. You don't want to be buying falling knives, as I always say on my stream. FX1. FX1's not too bad. I actually bought that back in 2023 and I made like a decent amount of money on it. I think gambling will come back, but I personally don't invest into gambling projects. I'll trade them, but I won't invest into them long term. And I don't think you should either. Delario, good to see you, brother. What's your opinion? Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, my brother. Let me see Alethium. Alethium, along with all the layer ones, are struggling. So you have to keep that in mind. I don't think it's Alethium, directly that's dumping. Most layer ones are struggling. I mean, Casper is the pinnacle of layer ones. And even Casper will go down like the rest of them. I told people a very long time ago, quite a lot of people in my group, I told them to sell at the 19 to 20 cent region. The cold like people didn't listen to me. They said it's going to $3 to $5. I said it's not going to do that. And the smart people listened to me and they sold a bunch around these regions. But the people that are cultists, like the crazy Caspians, I call them, they thought it was going to continuously go higher. Something that consolidates like this for a whole year without even attempting the all-time highs more than once is very likely going to dump in a couple of months because they're running out of buyers. Something can only pump for so long. This done fucking 6,000x and people still wanted more. Sometimes you have to admit that you're late to the party. Don't expect anything amazing. It's people always want more. How can you want more from a project that's done like 5,000x or 4,000x? What makes you think it's going to continuously go higher? Especially something that does not have smart contracts. This does not have smart contracts. All the major layer ones have smart contracts. Everyone keeps shitting on Ethereum. Yes, Ethereum has, terrible price gas fees, but Ethereum is one of the safest projects out there. And then you got Solana, which has very good gas fees, but it's not very safe. Blockchain can go down, etc. Funds are not that safe on it. So that's the way you got to look at it. There's always. This is why the trilemma has not been solved yet. It's very hard to solve it. It's hard to have all three. Casper claimed they had all three, but they can't have smart contracts on their chain. And they claim they're going to have it this summer, the next couple of months. If they do, then it will do well. But if it doesn't, something without an ecosystem, this is well overvalued for Casper. Very overvalued. People went from is the best layer one to the store of value to whatever bullshit they came up with. In reality, it's a layer one and no one uses a layer one. People look at it as a store of value, but what store of value is this? This ain't a store of value. It's fucking down like 70-80% like a low cap. Why would you rather hold something that has the minimum upside potential but still goes down like a low cap, or would you rather buy a low cap that can do 100x but goes down something the same or just like similar to a low cap? It doesn't make sense. A high cap, sorry. I'd rather hold a low cap personally. And that's what it is the layer ones are struggling right now, Joey. That's all it is. It's not specific coins. Never ever look at individual coins, because there's always going to be one coin outperforming the entire market. For example, Mantra, but Mantra does not cater to the entire RWA space. The entire RWA space is not outperforming the entire market. Just because one coin is, it does not mean everything in that sector should be also. So when you see one layer one doing well, if you see one AI project doing well, that does not mean every single AI project have to follow the lead of that one. There's always oscillators, there's always coins that outperform the markets. Every cycle there's a few, but that does not cater for the entire narrative. The entire narrative can go down while one or two performs. So some narratives are just going down as a whole. Gaming is one of them. DeFi is one of them. So yeah. Crypto, good to see you, Babadi. Very good to see you. I've been DC and Chapley a couple of weeks, invested 5K with a bad average. Been DC and Chapley. Yeah, look, Chapley is a good project overall. And it's one of those projects that obviously dumps when the market dumps. And it's been holding up, I think, very close to the bottom, $1.6 million market cap. It's coming back down to these range lows, back all the way in 2023. If you can get these regions, I think you'll make good money, because I got into this and I made like 30, 40x up here, maybe like a 30x, some shit. But Chirply is one of those coins that will always pump because they're very good at marketing. Marketing is a massive part of Chirply. They have hundreds of partnerships. It's not even partnerships, but they say it's partnerships, but it's daily tasks. So when you have these daily tasks, it's like free promotion for those projects. So Chirply will reach out to this project and be like, be part of our daily tasks. You know, you get free promotion from our side and we get free promotion from your side. So that's what happens. So these guys have, you know, I don't know, like fucking 200 partnerships lined up, which they will announce when the market gets bullish. That's why when the market got bullish, you see this massive green candle. That was because of their marketing. They were spamming partnerships day after day after day. And when people do that, people get excited. People like that type of stuff. You know, they just spam partnerships nonstop. You see these daily tasks? Look at this. They just announced one 3 hours ago. Whatever the fuck that is, whatever company that is the launchpad for Belichick. They formed a partnership with them on the daily tasks. They will keep doing this. John Cena just followed them. I don't know why, but John Cena just followed them, which is quite weird. CZ follows them. And Binance actually has invested a large amount of money into them. So for such a low cap project, I do think, you know, and the coming out, I think is quite undervalued. But like I said, DGen project, do not over invest into the DGen projects, bro. Like, I don't get why people don't understand this. You know, when the market gets bullish, you get excited. Oh, Chirply is doing very well. But when the market flips bearish, these low caps, the DGen coins, can go down aggressively compared to some of the high cap ones, which hold up fairly well. You have to keep that in mind when these low caps. That's why you don't over invest into them. You have to be able to listen to this, you know, these specific advices I give. Don't over invest in low caps, and don't put more than you can afford to lose in the crypto market. And the reason I say that is because when time gets rough, if you over invested, you're just going to capitulate. You're going to give up. You need the money in the real life, and you're going to miss the entire boat because you can't hold on to your bags for a couple of months. That's all it is. Yeah, Polkastar, I'm not a fan of, bro. Anything on Polkadot, I'm not a fan of. Yeah, so my personal AI collection is Alt, which, you know, if you follow Alt, is non-stop development. You know, the projects that develop during these times, they're going to be around for a long time, and the price action will always catch up. You don't have to worry about price action. Most projects don't even make it to the last part because they give up. You know, they just don't update. The community leaves, and then they come back when the market gets bullish and just spamming bullshit. You know, and then maybe you'll pump. But one thing I like about Alt is they're consistently working. They've just given a 1 million grant for projects to build on the decentralized AI, you know, whatever platform or whatever, you know, whatever product, whatever they want to build. They're given a $1 million in grants, and data security is the first one for these grants. So they're going to get part of the grant. There's going to be a lot of on-chain activity. The more projects build on you, the more on-chain activity you have, which is quite good. You know, the more burns that happens, etc., the more money you make, whatever it is. But these guys are giving $1 million in grants. I think is quite massive. They got the 100K hackathon, which is they're going to announce that soon. They got a roadmap coming very soon, actually. CEO posted like 4 days ago or some shit that they got a brand new roadmap coming very soon for the 2025 season. Hopefully, we'll see some exchange listings on there because they did say they're going to get tier 1 listing, which I think is quite good. They formed a partnership with YGG, which is very bullish as well. And they've all formed a partnership with Ionet, which is one of the biggest deep in AI companies in the space. And, you know, this is massive. This is the type of stuff you need to see in your projects at this current moment when the market's dead, because it shows they're still there. You guys are forming human AI, which if that blows up or they make something unique, guess what happens? Alt is the center of human AI. Everything is being built on Alt. The human AI shit is built on the Alt's layer 1. The Alt token is the main token for human AI. So let's say they make, you know, look at Fetch AI with their alliance. Fetch AI has made the first Web3 ASI. As soon as ASI blows up, Fetch AI will be the forefront. These guys make something in the decentralized AI shit, Alt is going to be at the forefront because everything is built. Human AI itself is built on Alt's layer one. They use the Alt token for token utility for everything on human AI. And then what that brings is more validators. So you have more nodes running on the system. This is what decentralized AI is. You have a lot of nodes. The more nodes you have, the better it is for your project as a decentralized AI project, and also as a layer one. So yeah, this is a very, very bullish developments from Alt. Brooklyn, what's happening with Brooklyn? What's happening with Brooklyn? Brooklyn has pumped, had a very big rally, 30 something percent, 34 cents, came back down. People are looking to buy back up slightly, but you know, I'm bullish on this. Has not done shit. This has been stuck in the same range since Jan. Came down obviously from these highs, and has been consolidating in this range for like 2 months now, which is very good. Goes up, comes down. Very good to see you. Virtuals, I wouldn't go for Virtuals as a safer pick. If you want a good safer pick, go with Ondo. I hold Ondo. I think this will do very well. Go with Injective. You know, this will do very well as well. Injective is like similar to Ondo now. Although they are layer one, they're also branching into tokenization. They've tokenized NVIDIA recently on their platform. And they're also a US-based company. I think US-based companies, if Donald Trump today announces, you know, zero income tax for crypto, US crypto projects, guess what happens? A lot of our coins will pump. That will be a narrative in itself. Oh, it starts in 7 minutes. Shit, we need to listen to this. I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna listen to it. But anyways, US-based cryptos could have a pump at some point, just like the fucking ISO 200 shit pumped right recently. US-based cryptos as well. So Rio, Ort, Ondo, Injective, these are all US-based. So if you hold some of these coins, it's going to pump. You're gonna have aggressive pumps. So yeah, this is definitely something to look forward to. But Injective is pretty good for safety net. I would probably buy Injective below $10. And the reason is because, oh, actually, there's some support over here, but that's fucking from the previous cycle, but that's not going to hold. I would say the support is below $10 here. So if you're going to buy this, maybe around, I don't know, $9, $10, $8, long term is a phenomenal buy. Same thing with Ondo. If you can get Ondo below 90 cents, I think in the grand scheme of things, that is a phenomenal buy. If you can get it, if you can come back at like 80 cents, that would be crazy. But yeah, Alt is a sleeping giant indeed. All the work they're doing is crazy, bro. Like I think all the legends are going to be DCA now because, like I said, at the current moment, people are screaming recession. I've explained to you guys at the start of the live stream why a recession will not happen, why we're not going to see a recession in the short term. So you don't have to be worried about a recession. Why the stock market is just in a phase of, you know, of just growth scare. I call it growth scare because what you see is, you see the market, or you see the S&P drop, and people think we're going into a recession, and they don't understand the bond market. The bond market is a very good indicator of us going into a recession, and other indicators are initial claims, unemployment, GDP. I don't think GDP matters too much because we've already been in a recession. But anyways, you know, initial claims I would say is a big one. The bond market is a very big one as well, and those are telling us we're not going into recession. The IMP, very important indicator as well. It tells us if the market is, you know, the manufacturing or the is weak or strong. When we had recession here, 2008, 2022 COVID crash, when we had the 2008 crash, this was aggressively moving down. We're not seeing that today. So therefore, we cannot be in a recession. Same thing over here. Back in the 1800s, 1919 something, we had a recession then, came down aggressively. Today is actually wicking higher, which is a good sign, or it's consolidating, but it's going higher slowly. So we're not seeing a recession in the short term. Natix holding solid support. Yeah, Natix is holding support pretty well, to be honest. There's no sellers. No one wants to sell it, which is a good sign. Crypto Summit happening now. Live stream started. Big roundtable. Sailor. Yeah, the Cardano guy didn't even get invited. Got 5K want to spend before the bull run starts. Majority of the picks you said. Yeah, so if you got 5K on the side, invest into AI, RWA, and then maybe like 1 or 2 gaming projects. But make sure gaming is not more than 15% of your port. Not more than that. Focus on AI and gaming because those are going to do well. Gaming will do well, but it might take a bit longer. So during that time, I think AI or RWA will probably pump first. So you'd rather put most of your money in there, and then you can always flow it back into gaming towards the end. That's what I would do. Or Sensei and I, those are my top 3 AI coins. If you want a deep in coin, go for AI Tech. If you want RWA, prop base, Bricken, ATR, those are my 3 favorite. Rio as well. There's quite a lot of RWA coins, but those are the ones I like. Do I like Peak? I think, yeah. The only problem with Peak is that tokenomics are quite harsh, and that's why the price action has been like Peak is one that I would buy in the bear market. I would not buy in the short term though. My top 5 coins are Aut, Nai, Prop Base, Bricken, and maybe ATR. Those 3 have held up the best in my opinion in the last couple of months. Shows no one's there. No one really wants to sell them. Any info and add more liquidity? Yeah, so I spoke to the team. They fixed the there was a few problems with all regarding Pancake Swap, so you couldn't actually buy on Pancake Swap, and just because there was like 100% sell tag, so they fixed that. And I've told the team to add more liquidity because investors that want to buy large bags, they can't buy because the liquidity is so low, and they're just going to pump the price. So they are going to be working on liquidity on the DEX, on the Pancake Swap. But what you guys are not aware of, Alt has its own decentralized swap. So you can swap your USDT into Alt, or you can buy on the Pancake Swap, and you can go on Alt Swap, and you can actually bridge it from the BNB chain into the mainnet. I tried it out a few days ago, worked completely fine, worked perfectly actually. So there's different ways to buy Alt. They have their own DEX as well. That's the thing with layer ones. Most of them have their own DEX. But yeah, they are going to be adding more liquidity to the BNB chain. They've just fixed a few issues on there. I think Alt will hit $1 minimum this cycle. I think it will hit $1 minimum. Alt definitely break even. I think it will do really well in the grand scheme of things, because when you got a company that has institutional investors into the project, you have nothing for Alt is a concept. Everything is a working product, and they make so much money annually, profits, that there's no reason for them not to continue developing. They've bridged over to $1 billion companies in Hong Kong. I think it's NSF, which gets funded 10 billion annually, which is massive. And then you got DAO, Lenovo, Tencent Cloud, you got BNB Chain. You got so much big partnerships in the Web3 space as well. You got Microsoft, Google grants, and Microsoft keeps giving them grants. This is the second time they've received a Microsoft grant, which means that Microsoft is happy with that project. So that's a massive thing in itself. The first time I spoke about Alt, they had 30K or some shit nodes. Now they've doubled it. It's over 73K in nodes, which means the nodes are growing, and it's a layer 1 is 60% catered to miners, and miners are slowly adopted, which I think is a good sign. So yes, as long as they keep building during these times, price action is temporary. At the moment, no one cares about AI coins. No one cares about the altcoin market in general. So you can't expect these partnerships to boost the price up, even though they're forming partnership with some of the biggest companies in the world in the Web3 space, like IONET. You're not going to see price action go up because no one's interested in buying AI coins or altcoins in general. People are scared right now. They're calling for recessions. No one's willing to buy. That's why the USDT dominance is at 5%. When the market was pumping back in these times, it was around 3.5, 3.8, 3.9%, close to 4%. 1% makes a huge difference. So when you've seen this wick up to 5.5 and come down to 4.5, Bitcoin went from 78K to 94K. That's how much difference 1% makes. That's billions of billions of money flowing in and out. That's what you have to consider. So yes, I'm very happy. 57. You never go to 57 when it was 84. I don't know what that means, bro, because I wasn't even buying or at 57, bro, or 84 or anything. I think virtuals will recover. Yes, recover. What's up, everyone? Thank you for the being realist and not shilling. Liquidity, good to see you, bro. I don't really like shilling. I feel like anyone that wants to buy, like I said, don't buy any of my projects unless you have the same level of conviction I do. If you don't have the conviction, there's no point in you buying it. Because I don't want people to come on here and tell me, "I used to go bullish, I used to go bullish." Yeah, bro, I'm holding my coins. If I'm not bullish, I'll say it very clearly, I'm not bullish on this project because it was good at one point, but stuff changed. Like crypto space, when you invest into altcoins, you're gonna even if 90% of your coins do well, one doesn't. It doesn't matter. If 90% of your other coins do well, there's always going to be one bad apple amongst the pack. And in this case, the bad apple was Tectum. It just had the team just doesn't know what they're doing about. At that point when we were talking about Tectum, the team wasn't the same. You had the David guy, which was a very good marketer. He knew what he was doing. He could speak English, and he was marketing very well. Now you have this Russian guy who does not know how to speak English, waffles, and it just doesn't know how to communicate. That's all it is. But like I said, they will all pump in the end anyways. But I'm going to go be watching the summit. I think it's very important. We can watch it, listen to it. I want to see what's going to happen. So on that note, I will be getting off now. Hope you guys appreciated the stream, learned something today. Just for you guys to. I feel a lot of people have high nerves regarding recession talks or whatever. You hear people talk about recession. In reality, we're not going to see a recession in the short to medium term. In the long term, I think it will happen. But during that period, a lot of things could happen. You can go to mania phase. You can go to crazy, new highs, whatever it is. Don't worry about short-term recession talks. The stock market always does this, where it goes, where you get these growth scares, where people think, the same thing was happening in August. Everyone was still calling for a recession. That's why the Fed cut interest rates by 50 BPS, because everyone was scared of a recession. The Fed was scared of a recession as well. So then, S&P dumped 9%. The exact same thing's happening now. We've had negative GDP come out from the Atlanta Fed, and everyone's scared, calling for a recession. That's all it is. Look, whatever sell-off happened, the sell-off would have already happened yesterday. Like if you look at Bitcoin's chart, it looks very bullish, because just look at this, it's higher lows. It means every single time people are dumping, it does not want to dump aggressively. It keeps, every dump is higher than the previous one, which means, no one wants to sell off aggressively, which is a good sign. So I don't, unless some major black swan happens, I don't see Bitcoin dumping that much. The market will recover in the next couple of months, based off the liquidity cycle. Drop a like on the video, guys. Thank all of you for coming down. I've already talked about peak T13. I don't think it's worth. I think it's one of those projects I'll buy in the bear market. That's exactly what he's trying to do. Exactly what he's trying to do. He's basically trying to force bigger companies to come back into the US. So if they stay abroad, like for example, a lot of companies go to China because of cheap labor force. Now those companies are going to have to pay 25%, 20% tariff on those goods that they're making. So it does not make sense for them to do that. So, paying 20%, it just means that you're paying way more than those workers are worth. So they'll come back into the US. What he's trying to do is he's trying to build the manufacturing within the US. So then when he's cutting from the Doge side, the private sector can balance it out. He needs to do that ASAP. He needs Doge to cut aggressively, and he needs more investments from companies abroad or countries, whatever it is. When Taiwan is also building 3 bases in America for those ships, and that's what this is what the tariffs do. They hurt the market short term, but obviously, if you want to fix a corrupt company, you're going to see some short term FUD or short term noise. I think AI will come back. Yes, AI agents is going to be massive because eventually, like I said, people are lazy. People want stuff done for them. Once we get an AI agent that can do stuff for you, like Sensei, who can answer your emails or whatever, people are going to love that stuff. If you can have your own AI assistant, like Sensei, that's what the future is at. The future is going to be people, the average person, having their own AI agent, low assistant that will do stuff that they don't want to do. So yes, I think I think AI agents will make a comeback 100%. I just think LLMs have become boring now. So anything, don't buy LLM coins. The ones that make fucking images or whatever. That's boring, bro. Advanced LLMs are quite good, but I prefer AI agents over LLM coins. Top 3 coins. If you want top 3 coins, just buy some low caps for 2030x, bro. Maybe Sensei, maybe maybe Nuclei, which is the only layer 1 for data in space. Maybe Bricken's a fast mover. ATR is another fast mover. Low market cap, first mover. Look at that pump from here, from the August lows, around 0.05, pumped over here. That's like a 13 to 14x, which is quite good. I don't know about 1 billion, but Rio from this current point on will easily do a 20x. Because it's Rio's always one of those coins that's most talked, the most showed on Twitter. 14 million, you could easily do a 20x. A 20x from this point on, because the thing is with Rio, their new product, the district, means there's going to be like 14 million Rio being bent, which is quite a lot. So yeah, 14 million, 140, 280, that's 20x from there. It's very easy for Rio, in my opinion, especially how big the RWA is going to be. Anyways, guys, like I said, I'm getting off. I'm going to go listen to the summit. Drop a like on your way out. I appreciate every single one of you that's here. I'll be live in the next couple of days. If I'm not live for a few days, it's just because time period is a bit weird. You have to understand, I am fasting. So when I open my fast, this is why I'm streaming at these times. I can't go an hour of talking. Maybe I'll do 30 minutes quick streams before I open my fast, and just to go over specific. But then I also want to answer you guys' questions. But anyways, guys, I'm going to go listen to the summit. Thank you guys for coming down. Drop a like on your way out. I appreciate all of you that come down and show support constantly. I'll see you guys very soon.